What's up guys? In this video I would like to give you guys a bit of an update on the gun that I got a couple of years ago. I have since shot through a couple of thousand rounds through it, and I'll share you guys what I find in my experience briefly, okay, as quickly as I could. Buying guns here in Indonesia is not as easy as going to a gun store and picking your gun and that's it. A lengthy process we have to go through paperwork, permits, etc., etc. So a couple of years ago, the importer basically informed us that they are bringing P10Cs, and I put my name on the pre-order list and waited a couple of months to have it finally arrive at the airport warehouse. Where it's waiting for the customs official to inspect it. So the company that imports it sends its employee as a witness for that inspection, and he took a couple of pictures of the guns and sent it to us, the people that orders it. I was really disappointed because I was expecting the gun to be all black, but it came in as two-tone. So this gun originally was in tan, the polymer. The lower was in tan color. You watch my previous video, show it in two tones. Now this gun is cleared. That's the reason why I put my hands there. There is no rounds in the chamber. There is no magazine. I have checked it over and over again before the video. Okay, so that's safe. Now, like I said, it's all black. It's two-tone. So I really wanted the gun to be all black, and I cannot return it. I cannot change it because of the permit and regulations of having guns shipped into a different country, imported into a different countries. At least for our case, every gun have to have a name on the serial number, meaning so somebody have to be designated owner of it. So I cannot. I'm not willing to go through all that again. So I'm stuck with the two-tone P10C. So I really wanted this to be all black. So painting it would be the option. So that would leave me with Cerakote or Duracoat. Cerakote means I have to have this gun shipped, at least the lower have to be shipped to the applicator, which I was a bit hesitant to do. And plus they do not allow me to watch the process of them applying the Cerakote. So that's out of the questions. Doing it myself would require me to buy things that I wasn't willing to purchase, equipment at least. So that's out of the questions. The only thing left would be Duracoat. Excuse me. Now Duracoat came up with an aerosol can type spray paint, which is apparently available locally here. So I got those, and I have nothing else to paint other than this, right? So long story short, I finished the whole can on the lower. I followed every step of the way, cleaning it, which was, I think they instructed to use their solvent or acetone or something like that, but I do not have those around. So I basically just washed it really clean with detergent. Did that a couple of times and spray painted it. And like I said, I followed every single step of the way. I spray painted it, put a layer of it, and let it sit the exact amount of time that is being instructed, and put another coat over and over again like that, okay? Until it basically, the paint is finished inside the can. I followed every single step of the way and waited. After finished, I let it sit until it dries, 24 hours, I think, to install all the internals, and let it sit again before I shoot it for another few weeks or a month. I forgot, but it was a long time. To be honest, the result turns out to be awesome. Way better than I expected it to be. Now, comparing this to a Cerakote, this is no way to, apples to apples comparison, but I have my Glock, slide was Cerakoted. That finish wore way faster than this one right here. It could be because this is so thick, or I followed every step of the way properly and the applicator probably did not. I don't know, there's a lot of factors involved, but at least that Cerakote wore so much more faster than I expected it to be, and this one is way better. So this is really tough. I was really pleasantly surprised. Now, they obviously, after a couple of years of using this gun, there are wear marks on it. Being polymer, I was expecting this to wear much faster than the steel slide, but still slide on the Glock, the Cerakote, but it's just really good. If you notice carefully, the race part, those are probably my dried skins, but I assure you there are a couple of wear marks on the race part if you look closely. Those are the colors of the polymer, right? Obviously on the Mac, you can clearly see all the friction that causes all the wears right there as well. Try to get this in focus. Okay, that's that. You can obviously see all the wear marks, the dings on this part. A couple of wear marks inside where the slide, where this part right here is sliding back and forth. Other than that, it's all good. The only thing I regretted was this part. I really need to fix it because I do part-time stippling, and obviously I experimented on my own gun, not on people's gun. And I was trying to experiment with this kind of border, but it turns out I did not clean it up as clean as I should. It turned out to be really ugly after painted it. I need to fix that. Obviously, I'm gonna have to buy a new can and I have to find a gun that needs to be painted, something that needs to be painted, because I'm not gonna obviously finish a whole can on this polymer again. So that's that. The frame is fine. Duracoat surpassed my expectation. Kudos to Duracoat. Obviously there are more wear marks on the edges on this part right here. Okay, now on this part, the beaver tail, where my palm actually meets, that you can clearly see it's a bit more shinier, obviously because of the polishing done by my skin on this part as well, but there is no significant wear marks. Like I said, it could be because it's a thick coat, but nonetheless it's a good durable thing in my opinion. I'm gonna release the slide, show you guys. That's the wear mark I'm talking about right there. I have this gun focused. There you go. Okay, there's one part and the bottom part right there, and it's left and right on this side as well. There is no noticeable wear marks on this part of the, obviously there is a little bit, but because there's so much gap between the slide and the lower, there's rarely any contact between the two, except just the slide is basically just riding on the rails. So no visible wear marks on this part of the frame. So there's no wear marks. The internals, I saw a guy on YouTube that point out there are a couple of rust that's starting to build up on the internals. I do not see that. My gun is fine. The internals, considering that I live in a tropical, humid area, that has not built up yet. The Mac release is very stiff. It still is. The slide itself is fine. There is no visible wear marks except on the barrel hood, where the part would actually dip into underneath the slide. Obviously the muzzle part, there's some wear marks as well where it's making contact on the slide. I have the plastic guide rod. I'm aware that CZ upgraded their later versions with metal. What else? That's another visible wear marks right there, but it's there, okay, right there. Obviously because it's the edges, right? It's more prone to wear marks and friction. Other than that, it's all good. The only thing that's been upgraded internally would be this. Bear in mind that it's only the shoe. HB Industries only provide the shoe, at least the time I bought this. Nothing else is modded except just the external stippling and the paint and this HB Industry shoe. I find CZ-P10C has an awesome trigger to begin with, and the only thing that's enhancing is basically just the feel of the trigger finger. I do not find it enhancing anything else. It does come with 3 striker springs at different weights. I do not change that. So basically this gun is using the factory striker spring. With that in mind, I find there's no significant enhancement other than the feel of your trigger finger, which is also good. Don't get me wrong, I love this trigger. But in terms of enhancement of the performance, I do not find any. That's just me, okay? Like I said, the mag is really stiff. On the single mag that I do use a lot more than the rest, that is easier to release than the other, obviously because of the friction between the mag release itself and the mag hole, whatever the detachment, whatever the thing is called. So that's that. And ergonomics, like I said, a bit similar to the 1911 comparison to a Glock. I find it really hard to shoot Glocks because of the grip angle. It's just me. Like I said, Glock is great, okay? Don't get me wrong. Every time I aim a Glock, it always turns out to be like that. So I have to force myself to dip the front of the gun for it to align. Every time I present a Glock, it's always like that. So it's a bit awkward for me to actually have to dip it so angled. Now with this one, I find it a bit easier to present the sight. Okay, with Glock, it always turns out to be like that. All right, so I find it a bit easier to shoot this gun than a Glock in terms of the grip angle. Everything else, it's awesome. If I were to choose this gun over Glock, I would choose this. That's me personally. Malfunctions, there's none so far. Seriously, I'm not lying to you. I've never experienced any malfunctions on this gun. I've shot through different types of ammo, 115, 124, 140, subsonic, supersonic, local, which is crap, by the way. They're notorious for being inconsistent. Really short, hollow point, locally made, which is weird, but it's that, just the way it is. And FMJs plus P, I think. Frangible Fiocchi with a flat head. Cellular and Belot, Fiocchi, and PMCs, and what else? All fine, man. There's no malfunctions so far. I mean, if even took like crap, like really crap, somebody just find some ammos, which is not recommended, but I did that. But anyways, it's fine. There's no malfunctions. Like I said, I did not change the striker fire spring, which is probably the reason it's performing that good. I did not lighten the trigger. It eats every round that I have put so far, okay? Now, people have been talking about this malfunctions where you actually, for some reason that striker actually moved to this side. I cannot even, there you go. And then it's catching right there. I have never experienced this malfunction. So I can't say, all right? It's back, like, what malfunctions, right? First of all, I've never experienced that. Maybe this one has been upgraded or fixed, I don't know. But at least for my case, I've never experienced that. This is just my personal experience. It doesn't prove anything. It's just my personal experience with this gun, which is awesome. Like I said, if I were to choose this one over Glock, I would choose this one. Obviously, I'm going to have to clean up all the factory stippling because seriously it's hurting my hands on the factory serrations or stippling or whatever that's called. At this stage right now, this gun is really comfortable. I really enjoy it, really like it. So bear in mind that all guns are registered with the government. all guns are required to be registered by the government, meaning the government knows who owns what. Before I actually do any video on our firearm regulations, I'll make sure that I do extensive research before I provide any information to people online. Make sure that it's as accurate as possible. But that's a video for another time. For the time being, this is it. Appreciate everybody's watching it. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Stay safe, stay home, and God bless. Bye-bye.